All right. Well, good morning. Welcome to another session with us for the newly elected training. Today, we are going to start talking about Gateway How-To. So we've talked about Gateway, what it is, what is needed. Now we're going to show you really how to go about doing these monthly and annual uploads. There is a packet of information that we've put online. I have put the link to the packet in the chat box. If you don't have the chat box open, if you click at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll be able to see that. And you click there and you can link it. I am not going to be using the presentation up on the main screen. So if you want to have it in front of you, it might be helpful that you could write notes on. I'm actually just going to walk you through the process so you can actually see what it looks like. But the presentation itself does have screenshots available, and as you're going through the process after this, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Lori and I, and we'll be more than happy to help you as best we can, unless it's like a password reset, and we're kind of not any help there.
We need to learn how to do those.
We are recording today's sessions. We will have them up on the website, so you can go back and refer to them if you need to, especially when you start doing these uploads for help. And we are actually doing two back-to-back today. We're doing this one, and then after this one, we're going to get into the 100R and the AFR. It's more heavy, more dense, so that's why I separated the two, because we have a lot more information to cover in that one. We're going to save the Q&A to the very, very end, though we are going to take a short pause between the two for recording's sake, so just to kind of give you that. Feel free to put stuff in the chat if you're not seeing something. Lori's going to help me monitor that while we go through this. Or if you're having any other questions, that's kind of the place to kind of start. Other than that, we'll do it at the very, very end. Okay.
I would just like to say my chat doesn't have the link in it.
Your chat doesn't have the link in it?
No. So I don't know if it didn't go to everybody or just went to attendees.
You know what? I bet it's because it went before you guys signed in. Let's try this. Can you
see
now. That one?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for telling me that. Let me put the other one in there as well. Okay. Do you got two?
Yeah. And Tammy's got it now. Woohoo! It's there.
All right. So I will remember to do that. So thank you. Okay. Let's stop sharing this. All right, and now we're back to this. Okay, so I'm going to start with the state directive, and I'm going to share this right here. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. Okay.
It's there.
It's there, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I wanted to close some of this stuff, and it's making it very difficult for me. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to pull you off of there. Okay. All right. So in 2018, the state examiner issued Directive 2018-1, and this was really to do with the monthly and annual engagement uploads. So we kind of talked about those in December, just kind of a little bit, to go over it. Well, here in November, we did update that. With COVID forcing us to be more remote, we're doing a lot of audits, off-site, only coming in when we need to. We need to do on-site testing and stuff. So the thought here was, what do we really, really need from you that would help facilitate that remote auditing? And so, honestly, Lori and I worked with all the other directors on this to come up with what we thought the field would need. We worked with the field as well, obviously, to figure out what we thought would be a good solution to at least get them started to be able to work off-site. And so with that, we presented it to the state examiner, and he agreed, and we did this amendment in, like I said, November. It is on our website, which is what I have in front of me. So you can go and look at it. I'm not going to read through it. It's just a couple pages. I'm just going to kind of scroll here real quick so that you can see. But it does kind of briefly go over what is required. So as you can see here for county auditors, it kind of lists just briefly a generalization of what is required. But that is where this requirement comes from. It's from the state directive. So when we are doing Gateway, to get started, you have to get access. We sort of talked about this in December, though I'm pretty sure you couldn't have gotten access until January because the prior official was still the official until December 31st. And so if you have not gained access yet, all you need to do is email gateway@sboa.in.gov, and it's not on this page. And it is in the slides. But you email them your name, what position you were elected to, what unit that position is with, the day of your first term, and then if you know, you need to know the outgoing official's name, their email, if you do know that, and their last day of term. If you email that to that email address, they will get you ready for access, get you your own username and password. Okay, so let's say you have your password, you're all set up, you're ready to go. You need to log into Gateway. So when you go to Gateway, you're going to go here, and the main page you're going to look at is hopefully on your screen right now that I'm showing. That should be where you first come in. What you're going to look for is right up here. It says Local Officials Log In Here. That is where you want to click to bring you into your login. Obviously, I have my own login, so I'm going to use that. But from this screen here, I also wanted to note, if you can use this in Chrome or Firefox, that's what really works best. Other sites aren't, the site doesn't support other internet browsers like Internet Explorer. So, okay. So when you're here, this is where you would enter your username and your password. If at any time you forget your password, you can click the Forget Password here, okay? This will help you just reset your password, and we work with IBRC, which is part of like IUPUI. They help us with this Gateway application. So you may see an email from them, and that's okay. We just wanted to make sure that you understood that.
We do have a question about how many logins can you have per office?
Oh, okay. So what it is the elected official, so you as auditor would get the submitter. You are the only one who is allowed to have submitter access. So there's only one submitter. You can delegate access to other individuals in your office. You can have one that does has editing rights. So let's say that you wanted somebody else to do the monthly upload. You can delegate that. There is a form that you have to use, and I'll have to get that to you. Or you can contact the Gateway Help Desk. You fill out the delegation form to them, and they will give them this access. They still cannot submit, so they might be able to upload everything, but you will have to actually go in and do the submitting. Does that make sense? Did I answer that question?
Works for me.
Okay, so let's say you know your username, you know your password. Let's just get started. You're going to log in, and it's going to bring you to this screen. And if you remember back in December, we are not the only agency that actually uses Gateway. But for this, we're only going to talk about the State Board of Accounts. So you're going to want to look. Ours is this red burgundy banner. I think it's more burgundy than red personally. But this right here is our section, okay? So you want to look for that, and then you want to look for this, and it kind of helps you determine what is available for us, for the State Board of Accounts, what you need to submit here. What I do want to point out before we start is the user guide. We've talked about it. You'll hear us talk about it all the time. We refer to it. It is just, it's kind of like the PowerPoint presentation I'm giving you. There's a step-by-step process in there, so you've got it available in different ways, though the user guide has way more information than the PowerPoint. but you can access the user guides by clicking up here. And it kind of looks very similar to the other one, although this is only the user guides. So while right now we're talking about the monthly and annual engagement uploads, you would come down here and you see the user guide, you click on it, and it gives you all kinds of detailed information. And I'm just going to click monthly uploads to take you down here. But this gives you the very detailed information of what is required to be uploaded for which office, when the due dates are, and then we start how to upload. And I'm going to walk you through it, but you can see there's screenshots in here. There's all kinds of information. Okay, so please remember that. If you have a question, this is always the greatest place to start is the user guide. That's where we start, to make sure that we get the answer correctly to you. Okay, we've seen user guides. I'm going to take us back to the other, which is the home page here. All right, so again, we are talking about monthly and annual engagement uploads in this presentation. So you are going to want to select this. If you select the details next, it's just going to drop down the deadlines for when these are due. These are also in the user guide, but this is just kind of a quick way to do it without having to go to the user guide and search for it. If you click on monthly and annual engagement uploads, it's going to bring you to a screen like this. Now, yours is going to look a little different because it's going to actually have, your county. So, like I live in Madison County, so it would say, if you were from Madison County, it would say Madison County here. That's what you would click on. So you'll click on this unit right here. Again, mine's just a test unit. Then it will bring you up to a screen here. Right now, the 2021 is obviously not due, so we do not have that available. But right now, you still would be uploading 2020s. I think November's is due this month, and December's is due next month, I believe. So once you get up here, you're going to click the year that you're ready to upload for. And it's going to bring you to this screen here. What I want to talk about before we show you how to do it is, again, just quickly, each month the auditor is required to upload approved board minutes. These, again, are all boards and commissions that could have a financial impact on the county as a whole. Okay, the user guide goes into way more detail to give you ideas of where to look or which boards might be considered. So if you're unsure, take a look at that. If you're still unsure, give Lori or I a call. You're also required to upload the funds ledger. This is a report that would show the beginning balance, receipts, disbursements, and ending balance of each fund at the end of the month. Okay. And the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to do the documentation of the reconciliation of Form 61 between the auditor and the treasurer. Again, this is just a monthly comparison, a notation of any variances, and a reconciliation of each fund between the auditor's ledger and the treasurer's ledger. And while you do monthly, you do have annuals as well. So your annual uploads are going to be a detail of your receipt activity. Again, this is going to include your receipt numbers, all that detailed information that comes in, the amount of the receipt, when it was received, what fund it was posted to, those kinds of things. You're going to do your detailed disbursement activity. Same thing. It's going to have your transaction levels of check numbers, when those were dispersed, who they were dispersed to, what fund they were dispersed from. The current year salary ordinance. So at the end of 2020, you're going to put up 2020's salary ordinance. Annual vendor history report, just the total amount dispersed to each vendor or payee for the year. The annual funds ledger. This is really a summary of beginning balances, total receipts, total disbursements, and ending balance of each fund for the year. You have an annual payroll history report. This would include at a minimum the date, the employee names, gross wages, a check number for all payroll checks issued that year, No Social Security numbers, please. Keep those off. And then there is an optional data capture of receipts and disbursements. And if you're not sure what this is, it's a little bit more complicated, but if you reach out to the help desk, they can help you identify if you can do that or not. So again, this is just kind of just a refresher. These are the things that we're looking for. So when you go to do an upload, you're on this screen. We've left you here. You're going to kind of scroll down a little bit, and I do give you some instructions up here at the top. It's really not very complicated. It's just kind of nice to see it done. So you first start by selecting, they call it the upload group. So if you're doing a monthly, you're going to select your month. What month are you getting ready to upload? So let's just say we're doing November. All right, then you need to select for the month, what are you uploading? Well, because we did the amendment, one of the things that changed was that Form 61, so that's not a requirement until December, which is why you're not seeing that in this drop-down menu here. So as of November, it was just the approved board minutes in the funds ledger. I'm going to move to December so you can see where it has changed. So board minutes are kind of nice because if you have them and you're putting them on your website already, you can come over to the side here and click web link and copy this link into the box that you've on your website, and then you can submit them that way so you're not re-uploading. If you didn't have a meeting, you need to put no meeting. You need to click that here. There was no meeting before you submit. Otherwise, you will click the file upload. You'll click choose file. You'll browse your files to wherever you've saved it at. I can't help you with that one, so make sure you know where you've put it. And then you will submit it, okay? Once you submit it, you can kind of see, again, this is a test one, so it might look a little bit different, but it will show up like this where you see the hi here. And it will show the date it was uploaded, the time, and who uploaded it, all right? The good thing about this is once it's uploaded, if you can't remember what you uploaded or you uploaded something you're not sure it was the right thing, you can download. If there's this right here, you can download it. You can click this. And down here, if you can see, it is downloading the document that was uploaded at the time. I'm assuming this is just going to be a Word document that says hi because it's a test. Oh, it was over here. It was like that. So if you can see it. But that lets you see what you've actually uploaded. Please be careful, though, because if you click this, it will delete the document and you will have to re-upload it, okay? So just be aware of that. We do have the status over here to the side. So, yes, the green check mark means, hey, you've uploaded it, it's good to go. The red X just means it hasn't been uploaded yet. Okay, we did have a question come in about that actually this week. If between the auditor and the treasurer, somebody needs to be uploading the reconciliation between the Form 61s. And we have it as a requirement for both, but it's only one of the officials needs to upload it. And that needs to be decided at the county level because each county does it just a tad bit different. So if in your county, it's the treasurer who does it, who handles most of it, and they're going to be the ones that upload it. You're going to have a red X there, but that is only going to signal to the field examiners when they come in to do the audit that, okay, the auditor didn't upload it, so the treasurer should have uploaded it. So they should be able to go to the treasurer's monthly upload in Gateway and see it there. Now, if they don't see it there either, there might be a problem. So I would suggest there be some internal controls put in place so that you can make sure if you are not the one uploading it, that it is getting uploaded. Okay, so what I wanted to show is I just kind of wanted to walk through one of these uploads. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so I thought I would show you because we've talked about the Form 61, and while you guys are newly elected, we have some, other officials who have been in there who have been asking questions about this Form 61 as well. We call this the Form 61. In fact, I'm going to pull it up. This is the actual prescribed form. It's a sample of what that form looks like, okay? It would be for the auditor would have one, the treasurer would have one. You would list all your funds here in the middle. and then it would have your balances and receipts to date, receipts for the month, and your total balance and receipts on the left-hand side. The right side would have dispersed to date, dispersed for the month, total dispersed, and then the balance at the end of that month, okay, for that each fund. This is the prescribed form. If you have a computer system, there may be or should be reports that would take the place of this prescribed form. So that is okay to use, but it still needs to be looked at. So you need to figure out, which reports are going to do this for you. You may have to call your software vendor to do that. All I can tell you is this is the prescribed one. So whatever your approved form that you're going to use should provide the same function as this form. So what I did in this, I'm going to close that, is I just kind of took that and made an exact replica in an Excel file so that I could kind of play with it. And I just did a really quick example. We call ourselves Pleasant County because everybody there is very, very pleasant. You will notice that Lori and I always use Pleasant or Perfect County. Oddly enough, we know that nobody is perfect. Everybody does make mistakes, and so we understand that, yours are going to be a lot more complicated than this, and you're definitely going to have way more money than I have in this example here. So I only picked a handful of funds because Pleasant County is so pleasant. We don't need a whole lot of funds. We also only have a couple roads, maybe 2, maybe a bridge. We probably have 5 people that work in Pleasant County because, it's just so pleasant. So all of this stuff is completely made up. I just stuck it in here for you just to kind of see. I created one for the treasurer, and what I did is I also created one for the auditor. You will see some highlighting in there because those were the differences between the two. When we went to do, the auditor and treasurer went to do the reconcilement, they realized that they were different. The treasurer has, $100 more in their receipts, and the auditor has $200 less in their disbursements, and there's some transfer that occurred, okay? So at the end of the month, they came back together, and this is not a prescribed form. This is not how it has to be done. I was just trying to come up with a simple way to show you what I'm talking about. So each county does it differently. If it's already being done, it doesn't mean it's wrong. Just take a look at it. It could still do the same function. At the end of the month, the auditor and treasurer need to compare by fund. So your receipts, your disbursements, and your balances should agree by fund and in total at the end of the month. So I did the highlighting there to show you, well, hey, we realize that those differences were different, and so we know that we need to figure out why they're different. And then I just kind of created this, again, this little form here where I started with the auditor's ledger, and we just did total of all funds. And then I did the reconciling items. So since the treasurer had an ACH that came in and wasn't posted on the auditors, we know that that's going to be a reconciling item, okay? So I kind of did that adjustment here on this little spreadsheet. Also noted to the right is that once the auditor realized, hey, that wasn't posted, they went and posted it. They made that correction, okay? Because we do not want to carry any kind of reconciling items long-term. Once you identified it, make the correction and move on. So once I did that, treasurer had noticed, hey, we have some differences on our end. We have the auditor voided a check, and I didn't get it recorded on my side. So the treasurer's taking the voided check out of disbursements, okay, and then they voided, made sure that check was voided on their side. And then there was a transfer that occurred from MVH restricted or MVH unrestricted to MVH restricted. And so again, treasurer wasn't notified of that transfer. It didn't affect anything in cash because it zeroed each other out. But when you went to reconcile the disbursements, it didn't work for those funds. So again, I just did a quick little reconcilement here. And then I just had, Pleasant County Auditor and Pleasant County Treasurer sign it at the bottom as kind of an internal control that they both had looked at. Just kind of good practice to start internal controls. So this is the thing that we're looking for to upload here, okay? We are not looking for these. If you want to include them because that's part of your process, that's perfectly fine. But just including one of these or each of you just uploading your 61 is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is that The auditor and the treasurer worked together and came up with a reconcilement between the two ledgers. All right. So once you have done that and you have got it reconciled in your agreement, you're ready to upload this. Okay. So in this case, you're going to do December. You're going to come down here to the documentation of reconciliation between, or Form 61 between the auditor and treasurer. You'll click there. You're going to choose a file. I got to go get it. Okay. I have it in a PDF form. So I'm going to put it there, and then you're going to submit it. It comes up and it will tell you that the submit was successful. You click OK. And I should be able to scroll down here to December. And I see it right here. I don't know if you can make that out because it's kind of small. But you see it here. You see the date, the time I uploaded it, and then there's my email address that it was me. All right. And again, you can download it. Or if you realize you accidentally uploaded the wrong thing, you can delete it and re-upload it. Okay. All right. So that's monthly. Well, what about annual? Okay. So you have the annuals. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to where I'm at. And I do not have an example to show you or to actually do the upload for annual because some of these documents are very, very large, but it would be the same process. In this case, if you're doing an annual upload, you're going to click the select upload group as annual. It's going to give you this drop-down menu and let you tell us what are you putting up there. Are you doing the detailed receipt activity, the disbursements, doing the payroll history report? What are you putting up there? Once you select it, it's the same process. You find the file and you submit it. Once you submit it, it will come underneath this annual right here. Okay. And as you can see, we've already done some tests inside there. But that's where it will all show. Again, if you upload the wrong file, it's no big deal. Delete it. You can do it again. Okay? All right. Now, while we're here, I also want to talk about direct requests. This is relatively new. It came out this year. In fact, I learned stuff while I was doing this, and the packet you have actually has a slide that's incorrect. So I got some information on it, so I am going to change that slide. Actually, I have changed it in the slides I have, and we'll get it reissued out on there. But a direct request is you are required to do the monthly and the annual uploads. But when we come in to do the audit, if something is missing that didn't get uploaded, or we require additional information, this is what we're going to use. So you're going to get a direct request from your field staff. All right. So what it is they go in, they look, they say, hey, let's say you forgot to do the Form 61 that we did. You forgot to do that for the month of December. So they're going to send you a direct request, and it is once they do that, you're going to get an email. Now, this is important. The email is going to look like this. You are not going to be able to respond to this email. It is a no reply email. It will only go to the submitter. The submitter is the elected official. So in this case, it is the auditor. So even if you have delegated for somebody else to do uploads, they will not get notification of the direct request. Okay? Only the auditor is going to get that notification. Once you do, it is going to tell you what you need to do and how to upload that document. If you're unsure of what they're asking for, reach out to your field auditors, your field examiners who are on site. Get more information, work with them, help, so that they understand, or let's say the file's just massive, just really, really massive. Again, reach out to them. See if there's another way to get it versus doing the direct request, meaning that you're uploading something else. Again, we're all flexible. We're trying to work together. I just want you to know that be on the lookout for this email. Once you do get the email, if it is nice to let the field staff know, hey, I got your direct request. I'll have it uploaded. Oh, I saw that question. I will have it uploaded, by such and such time. I'll have it by tomorrow, or I can't get it done till Friday. Just that communication lets them know you're working on it, you got it, and you received it. Brenda asked who your audited officer was, I believe, when it popped up. So
how do you know? How do you find out who your field examiner is?
One thing is you're the auditor. So as being the auditor, you are the fiscal officer of the county, which means you are the first person that's notified when the audit team comes in. At that time, they will let you know who they are. You will start getting emails from them. You will have contact with them. You will know at that point who your contact person is. It is not the same person every audit. Okay, our field staff do rotates. To be honest, I can't remember doing back-to-back audits when I was in the field very often. We do rotate them frequently. It's kind of an independent thing with us so that you're not so familiar with the unit. So just be on the lookout. Every year it could be somebody different. Okay. Once you, like I said, so we got this email. Once you do that, it's done the exact same way. So you got the email, you're supposed to go, you're supposed to do some uploads during the audit. You come back into this monthly and annual engagement upload. The select upload group is going to be a direct request. Okay? And once you do the direct request, the select file type here, these all, this all comes from what was asked of you. So it should populate, and then you would choose which one you want to upload. Again, choose the file, do the whole submission. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Okay, so the only thing that's kind of weird about this, and I'm going to hope it kind of changes because I don't like the way it looks. I just haven't had a chance to reach out, is that the direct request used to be at the bottom underneath annual reports. But in like this case, it's coming up under September. I'm not really sure why it's kind of buried in the middle there, but I've heard others say that it actually moves. So sometimes it might be more closer to the top, it might be towards the bottom. Just take a moment and scroll down to see if you can't find where that direct request is, and once you upload it, it will be underneath there. You can, once you have everything done, there are functions underneath here that do allow you to download. You could download all the files that you've uploaded. Maybe you just want to download direct requests that you've uploaded, annual uploads, bank reconcilements, which you're not going to have, approved board minutes, all of that stuff. So some of this stuff you don't use. It's just put here because it's on all the pages, but it is an option to download them all there. I want to, let's go back. Back again. And again, we'll try and be as helpful as we possibly can. If you have a question about what you're uploading, or if what you've uploaded is correct, that kind of a thing, Lori and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. But if you need a password or change, we can't do that. So you'll have to do the Gateway Help Desk. If you're having a technical issue, like, I don't know, maybe one of the drop-down menus is not working or something like that, you can let Lori and I know, but it's probably better to just go straight to the help desk because if you don't, we're going to have to go to the help desk because we can't fix that either. It is nice to know about it. So if you want to drop us a line and say, hey, this isn't working, but I let Gateway know, then, that's helpful as well, too. But while we were talking about monthly and annual engagements, I also wanted to kind of touch on conflict of interest disclosures. We did kind of briefly talk about this in December as well. The conflict of interest disclosure is due 15 days after the final action on the contract or purchase. What is important to know about the conflict of interest disclosure is each person who is filing a conflict of interest disclosure is responsible for filing their own. They will file one with the clerk's office, and then they will submit one here on Gateway, okay? So if you click on the conflict of interest disclosure, it brings up this. We do not have a prescribed form for this, but we did kind of create a form that you can use, and the link to it is right here. It downloads. And it's a fillable PDF. So once you fill it out, make sure that you save it, because if you just close it, it will not save your stuff. So it'll get filled out here. You'll have to sign, so you have to print and sign, and then you will submit it. Once you fill all that out, then you will submit it here. Okay. Go through. You'll put, again, your name, your email address. You'll select the county, unit type, and the unit. Then you'll upload the PDF right here, so you'll browse to find it. Okay. I have the code image thing. Not sure why. That's more technical than me. And then you will upload it there. Okay. They are available to look at after they have been put up there. But again, I just wanted to note that if you need to file a conflict of interest, again, it is your responsibility. One goes to the clerk's office, and then one will be submitted here. If you're unsure if you need a conflict of interest, you can always reach out to your county attorney to see what they think on that. You can always go on the side of caution. So it's always better to have one and not need it than to need one and not have it. So those are just kind of rules of thumb. If you have any questions about it, you can also look up in the statute, which is listed right here. And it does kind of go into detail about what is kind of considered that conflict of interest and what is required in the disclosure. Hey, we are doing really well. Okay, I think that is going to wrap up this part of it for the uploads. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any questions here. I think we're good there.
I would like to add, if you ever have a question and you can't figure out who for auditors, you really should know, but you don't know who your field officer is, you can call us. We can look it up.
Yeah, we can tell you who it is. Absolutely. You shouldn't, though. I mean, you should know.
Other officers may be coming to you because you're going to know when they don't, but
right.
You can always reach out to us as well.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of glad that we got to that a little fast because I foresee the other to take us a few. So I'm going to pause this recording for just a second.